Good morning. Welcome to a special Saturday morning forecast discussion. It's October 29th and it's currently 7:36 a.m. A few minutes before I start the live coverage, and I just wanted to go over again the forecast and show the latest observations this morning so you have an idea that A, the forecast hasn't changed on my part, and B, snow in New York City is going to be very hard to come by, at least to accumulate. So this morning we have clearly a very warm surface conditions in place with temperatures in the upper 30s to mid 40s. And when I say warm, I mean for snow. Okay, we already have rain spreading over the Philadelphia metropolitan area and building into the New York City metropolitan area. And temperatures are falling into the 30s over portions of eastern Pennsylvania. I even have an unconfirmed observation in the Poconos of snow actually starting to fall, which again is within the forecast that I have provided. And it should be snowing in the Poconos with this storm, which I'll show in a few minutes. But as you can see, the boundary layer is very warm and very wet starting out for this storm. I want to also show a different look with the observations. This is from the Penn State EWOL website, an excellent website, and for observations and models. And again, you can see temperatures are above freezing for most locations throughout much of the Northeast. You have to get into interior upstate New York to get into temperatures below freezing. Okay, and we have an area of low pressure rapidly developing down to 1010 millibars off of the North Carolina coast and is rapidly deepening and moving up the coast, and we're starting to develop a boundary, a coastal front along the New Jersey coast that's going to enhance the rainfall for this afternoon. And again, just to kind of drive home the point here, I'm going to zoom in on here. Okay, pan down, and this is the critical values for frozen precipitation. Now again, if this was December, totally different story. This surface cold air mass would be a lot colder, and we'll be dealing with a major snowstorm throughout the entire northern mid-Atlantic as temperatures are crashing at 850 millibars below freezing. But as you can see, the correspondence this time of year to the surface temperatures when your 850 millibar temperatures are below freezing is that temperatures are falling into the 30s, but they're above freezing. You see, here's our freezing line way up in New England here, and way back into the Ohio River Valley, a few pockets. And this right here, this type of pocket is because of that enhanced lifting that's starting to develop. And you can also see it over portions of West Virginia and southwestern Pennsylvania. So that's pretty much what we're playing with right now as far as the atmospheric setup and the boundary layer setup ahead of this storm. Taking a look at the radar, you can see that rain is starting to move north. It's a very heavy rainfall right along the coast, very heavy rainfall, and this heavy rainfall is going to be moving into the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area through the day, and in fact will be intensifying as the low pressure system is intensifying. Just want to make a quick point that with these storms, they typically tend to leave a little bit faster than model guidance suggests, which is going to play a major role into the forecast as we move forward. Moving into the water vapor here, I just want to show this is really interesting. Here's our disturbance. It's diving through the Tennessee River Valley. It's about to hit the coast. You can see the moisture from what's left of Rena being entrained into this storm. Plenty of moisture, plenty of tropical moisture, which is really going to enhance the rainfall over the northern mid-Atlantic. And you're starting to see the lifting starting to get enhanced here. Notice the blue shades starting to develop here. Meanwhile, our high pressure system is locked in over New England because of a weak negative NAO pattern. You can see the upper low just barely over here. And let's see if I can zoom in. Here we go. See, here's the upper level low. And there's our negative NAO pattern. You get convergence and confluence, and there's our high pressure system. So again, if this was the dead of winter, we'd be talking about a major snowstorm here. But this is October, and therefore we have to take in consider boundary layer dynamics, which basically means we have to take in consideration of the surface temperature. So here's our low pressure system. It's going to explode over the next 12 hours and move off the New Jersey coast and basically produce a lot of heavy rain, very strong winds, anywhere from 15 to 30 miles per hour with gusts over 45 miles per hour expected, especially along the coast. So you can see in the water vapor we're developing the storm very nicely, And on the infrared, you can see that the lifting is starting to become enhanced. Notice the cloud tops are getting colder. Very impressive indeed. This storm is clearly starting to take shape. Now let's take a look at the models, because everyone's talking about snow in New York City. Well, look, here is the idea behind this snow in New York City, okay? The idea here is that you see this strong disturbance here? Well, at 8 p.m., it's going to drive into New York City. And this incredibly strong lifting, again, if this was the dead of winter, will rapidly cool the atmosphere. And that cooling of the atmosphere will change the rain over to snow in many locations, possibly even down to the New Jersey coast. The idea here is that, well, the models are showing snow and it's showing accumulating snow, so therefore it has to be right. And so we're going to forecast 3 to 5 inches in New York City, and so therefore we're going to put out advisories. The problem with that forecast is that through today, you're going to have temperatures in the 40s, even upper 30s, and rainy conditions. You're going to have a wet pavement, you're going to have wet surface conditions, warm surface conditions, and it's going to take a lot of energy, more than I think that this upper level disturbance will provide, to support accumulating snowfall. And that's the key, accumulating snowfall. I have no problem with the idea that the rain will change over to snow eventually as the storm leaves, but I have a difficult time believing that up to 5 inches of snow is going to accumulate on almost any surface under these conditions and in a very short period of time. Okay, so that's basically the idea here. The storm blows up, very impressive deepening of this low pressure system. It just bombs out. Winds are going to be very strong. Portions of the interior are going to see over a foot of snow from this event. It's going to be very impressive for higher elevations, especially above 1,000 feet. So be prepared for that. And portions of New England are going to see incredible amounts of snow from this. I just also want to show the NAM model guidance at the surface. I'm using a NAM not because I think it's the best model, but it's the coldest model, just to kind of prove a point here. That, you know, here we are, it is 2 p.m. here on the model guidance, and the only area that's below freezing is in the Poconos. Okay, that's the interior, that's pretty much expected. Okay, moving forward into, let's get to this evening. Now our storm is starting to leave, dry air is starting to move in from the southwest as our storm is starting to pull off to the northeast. The heaviest precipitation is going to be in New England at this point. We have rainfall kind of at the tail end here, and you can see again temperatures are above freezing, and I wouldn't be surprised if some of this is changing over to snow at this point this evening. But again, temperatures are well above freezing. So again, accumulation is going to be an issue. Okay, it might look nice, but I don't think it'll stick. That's the issue. That is the point of the forecast. Moving later on into the night, towards 11 p.m., the rain is starting to leave. This is pretty much over for Philadelphia. I think a lot of this is lingering from maybe the first hour in this 3-hour forecast. But you can see, again, the surface temperatures are still above freezing. Below freezing over the interior higher elevations, but above freezing along the coast. Therefore, just rain. That is the point of this forecast. Okay? So that's pretty much the guidance I'm looking at. So just go over the forecast once again from NY and JPA weather. Rain along the coast, periods of heavy rain, sustained winds from the northeast of 15 to 30 miles per hour, with gusts up to 45 miles per hour, or over 45 miles per hour, should I say. A few flurries may mix in at the end. No accumulation is expected from this storm. None. Zero. Okay? Now, again, you will see snow at the end of this storm. Don't get me wrong, there'll be big wet flakes, and they'll look really pretty, get the kids all excited, but it's going to be incredibly hard to accumulate this snowfall. Over the interior, this is where it gets really interesting and rather dangerous. You have rain below 500 feet, you got rain mixing over to snow, accumulations of up to 2 inches as this rain changes over to snow. From 500 feet to 1,000 feet, rain changing over to snow. The accumulations of 2 to 4 inches, possibly up to 6 inches if you get really strong banding over your location. But for the most part, again, the roadways are going to be rather warm, so accumulation on roadways might be rather difficult, but they will be slick, so use caution, especially tonight. Now, over 1,000 feet, this is where it's a real game changer and gets really interesting. Rain changes over to snow, it's starting to do that already in portions of the Poconos, apparently. snowfall accumulations of 4 to 8 inches widespread. Now, locally, up to 12 inches I have here, but based on some of the latest observations, I would not be surprised if someone gets a 14 or 16-inch snowfall because of intense mesoscale banding. But it's going to be incredibly impressive, the snowfall. And it's a very heavy, wet snowfall, so use caution as far as being prepared for power outages and down trees and whatnot. And if you could stay home, do so, because I would not suggest driving in this storm. That is the forecast for this storm through today. After this storm leaves, high pressure is in control for the next few days into the middle of next week with excellent weather conditions. I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. Have a safe day. Enjoy yourself out there. Watch a little bit of college football. Stay home. Stay warm. And have a great day. See you later.